So yeah, now that we've wrapped up 2024, geez, I think 2025 has been the busiest transfer window
You can say that again.
in women's football in South Africa. And yeah, no, we saw a lot of.
We saw 17.
What did you say just now?
17.
There was a.
University of Fort Hare
True,
signed 17. When have you ever seen that?
I mean,
in our
listen,
league?
they did say before the close of the 2024 season that this 2025 they want to finish top 4. So I think they were very intentional with keeping that goal, and that's why we saw so many. But now,
And before you even say anything,
Okay,
what's
okay.
interesting is that we see these players, and most of them are from Royal AM. What's going on there?
Royal AM and Richmond though.
But Royal AM is dominating in those signings. Bro.
Okay, that's
They have
fair.
like 8 from your Royal AM, if I'm not mistaken. That's basically the whole team, the whole starting 11. Just need 3 players, yeah.
But you see, that's the thing. I mean, you know, sometimes as players, we have to put ourselves first,
Yeah.
I think, and also think of our careers. Yes, we're not professional, or we're not playing in a professional league as yet, but I still think it is important that you are playing in a team where you feel secure.
True.
And I mean, we've seen quite a lot of activity with Royal AM as well.
Yeah.
I think last week or in this past week, they just touched that the club is up for sale, 15 million.
Yeah, that's something.
So, me too. Deuces,
Do
I'm
you
out.
think- Do you think we gonna have a ladies team this season, or since everything is just not in?
You
in
know what?
line?
Their Royal AM's first game
Yeah.
is against the league title holders. So that will be interesting to see.
True.
We will just have to wait for
The
the
1st
league
of
to
March.
kick off for sure to see if they have a team. But before we even start talking about fixtures, man, signings. We went there. Now we jumping.
We're just too
jumping.
excited.
True,
We
true,
can't
true.
contain ourselves.
So, like you said, a lot of movement. University of Fort Hare. A lot of movement. UWC as well. I think they've made quite a few impactful signings. As you, for sure, you've
that
mentioned
one stood
now
out for me.
that Sma and Knox have since departed. I mean, their captain as well. Amo's now playing in Mexico. So
yeah, that was a big one, eh?
true, it
I didn't
was
see that one
joining
coming.
Jermaine and Tendi
Yeah.
and Hilda. I think that's Amos had a phenomenal 2024 season. I mean, she came off as Player of the Year in Hollywoodbets. She did amazing with the national team, but I think also again, Coach Tina has been intentional with her signings. We see Mabato, as you've mentioned. They've also added Sina from Tux. And then also the goalkeeper from Royal AM, Kat. She's also now finally signed over because she was unattached for a while, which I think also had an impact on her getting called up to the national team. So it'll be interesting now as well, also going into AFCON to see, you know, the short list of the goalkeepers, but it's good to have her playing again, I think. JVW's made a few signings.
Yeah. Erin Hurst from CS Galaxy decided to come back home because that's where she started. And you also see, like, defensively, it's Erin and Tisang Mesiane. She's also a defender. They signed her back from Tux. And one surprising one was Puleng Moremi from Royal AM. Because I think also since JVW lost Mabato in the middle, they needed someone who was going to fill in that space. And I think Puleng Moremi has the potential to fill that middle space, even though she's more of an attacking player and Mabato was more of a defensive player. But then, like, in order to defend, you need to attack, you know. Sure. I think that's going to be very interesting to see.
And I mean, JVW did release quite a few players as well. 6, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, you have Julia Mullen and Alo who retired ultimately from football. Mabato went over to UWC to further her studies, and then we saw the releasing of Lerato, Zetu, and Nelly. Midfield as well as defensive players. So I think the activity for JVW in terms of looking outside has been pretty decent, but then also I think to touch on the promotion of the academy players.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we see also JVW promoting most of their, three of their young players. We see Bonolo, Ridumeti, and Torisho, with two of those players like being part of the youth national team, Torisho and Bonolo with the under 17 and the under 20s, and also Ridumeti has been part of the Super League, that like the junior team for JVW, and she's played like a pivotal role in that team. So
I mean, she also does have Hollywood experience. She played, I know she did leave JVW for a year, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was studies
for first touch,
and she played for first touch. So she does have a lot of experience under her belt as well. And I think these new additions will be good for JVW. But yeah, I think it will be very interesting to see the approach from their side, being JVW in the 2025 campaign. And just keeping in line with that youth. See UJ also adding more, and I think for me the biggest signing was Nobashe from
Lendelani. Oh, she's amazing. She is amazing.
I watched
her play,
dude. I watched her Kasafa, if I'm not mistaken, under 20 now in December. Yes. You know when they say sugar.
Even in the league, she was doing the most.
Yeah.
And also the game that they played against Lesotho, she actually scored a penalty.
Yeah.
Which went on to win us the game.
Yeah. So it'll be exciting to see her in action more on Tuesday, I think, when they play the second game. But in addition to her joining UJ, we also see quite a few Super League players that are joining. I know that there's Portia from Springs Home Sweepers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's joining UJ as well. And then we also see a goalkeeper from Wits. So it'll be interesting to see the strengthening in this UJ squad. But I think 2025 is going to be a very exciting and interesting season.
But also we haven't seen much from the big teams like Sundowns, TS Galaxy.
I tell you what. I don't know if it is production or what, but listen, sometimes we record it but we forget what's behind.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, true.
We forget what's behind. So I saw on Instagram, as you say, one of the big teams. I think they were in the gym or something.
Yeah.
And I saw a familiar player. A player that's
spicy,
that Tax has released. It's not Design. It's not Sina. A player that Tax has released, and she was in the green and yellow of the Brazilians.
Now I'm actually eager to hear who that player is.
Okay. Let me give you not a hint. This is very simple. But if I'm not mistaken, player of the tournament, Kosafa, 2024. Stoka Salaho.
Ezemvelo Ladies. Oh, that's
rumor has it.
That's interesting.
We'll wait for the announcement, but rumor has it. And I'm not too sure actually other players that are there. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But that's just
But that's an interesting one, eh?
I think it is very interesting. It'll be interesting to see
where she's gonna fit in with the team, because we know that she's a speedy player and she wants to be on the ball most of the time. But Sundowns is more of like, So it'll be interesting to see how she fits in the team. Well, if they actually sign her, because we don't know.
I mean, that's factor one, but I think also something that still has me, and I don't know if some of you still asking, Pichere,
I wonder, because we saw towards the end of last season there were talks going around, and he was actually
Wait. Is it too soon to be controversial? Is it too soon?
But it is. It's happening in the game, and you need to talk about it.
Yeah, no.
We need to talk about it.
But I think because there's such limited information around it, I think more so when I asked where's Jerry, it wasn't more so to touch on the investigation, but more so to say who now is, if he still is on suspension, as the statement was of Sundowns. Who's taking the team?
I can't even say.
So,
or maybe they'll promote their assistant coach, because she's playing with them.
Perhaps.
She's been a player at Sundowns, and she was besides Jerry.
And I mean, she's got her accreditation.
Yeah, she has her accreditation. So maybe she'll be stepping up. Who knows? But we'll wait for them to announce, and maybe we'll take it from there.
So even in saying that, like for me, it's where you said, you know, the different styles that Ludwig brings to Sundowns versus like what Sundowns play in terms of a team style. If there is a new man or woman in charge at Sundowns, it'll be interesting to see it collectively as a team how they come out in the 2025 season, because I'm sure that they probably do have more signings. I mean, they also haven't really released players, so that's also interesting to see. But yeah, no, TS,
nothing.
I haven't seen
They haven't said anything also. Yeah, but they're still part of the league. They haven't said they're not playing this season, so we're expecting something from them also, because a lot of players left. When I say a lot, like almost the whole team.
That's true.
So
coaching staff included.
True, you know.
Yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see what's there.
It's real damn. I think also, I mean, we haven't really seen much activity, or personally, maybe let me speak for myself. I haven't really seen much activity on the pages of Ezemvelo and UCT. I know UCT got a new coach actually, but like I say,
I think I saw the story. Did he play overseas or played in the PSL?
Yeah.
Or do you know anything about him?
Me personally, no. Like I said, I'm a women's football enthusiast. You're a football enthusiast, so you tell me. But no, I think, you know, it's good that they're bringing in a coach with such experience. As you have said, he's played overseas, he's played for Bafana. But you know, I think in my opinion, women's football is very different from men's. Very different. Like a lot of male coaches will actually tell you that it's not the same. It's not the same. Obviously, women, we play with emotions. There's a lot of emotions involved. So like most male coaches can't really handle that. Sometimes, if I may say, that's just my opinion. You know. And it will be very interesting to see, because they newly promoted, so it's gonna be his first taste, because he's never coached women's football before. And I mean, now we're at the highest level. So, you know, so I think also the ask, not to say the ask is a lot, but it's a challenge. I mean, the team is competing in a new league, new opponents, different factors, you know, traveling, exactly, and we know how that plays a factor in games. Playing at home it's good, but sometimes when you have to travel to Richmond, Kimberley.
I'm not looking forward to that trip. That's one trip I never look forward to in the league, because no, guys, no.
But I think also like Ezemvelo, we haven't. I mean, I personally don't know much about the team, but it's good to have another KZN team.
Well, I know them because I watched the Sasol Champs.
Okay.
And also some of those players I grew up playing with since I'm from KZN. So most of them we actually play together. So I know most of them, and I know their style of play, and I know the coach also.
Okay,
And
so
I know-
what type of team do they play? Like, I mean, you guys,
Well,
if you haven't
now
catched,
because we don't know which signings they've made.
yeah.
But from what I saw from the Sasol champs,
Yeah.
they have their moments. They're a team who can play the ball when it's necessary, but under pressure also they like to play those long balls. So it's gonna be very interesting to see the signings that they're bringing in, and how that's gonna change the formation that they're gonna introduce if they're not playing the same formation, and with the new players that they have, because also, like, I think formations are based on the players that you have,
Sure.
their strengths and their weaknesses, because you can't just go play a 4-4-2 or a 3-5-1 and expect the same players will actually like give you what you need in those two formations. So it'll be interesting to see.
And
I can't wait.
What's the likeliness of players from Lindelani going over to Ezemvelo, or is it not?
I think Lindelani is mostly young players, like they still under their parents' guardians, they still in school
I get you.
and stuff like that. I think maybe Durban Ladies, because Durban Ladies or Royal AM are likely to go to the Ezemvelo team, because it's not close to Durban, where Lindelani is based in Durban. It's more like Pietermaritzburg side going to Newcastle side, so that's very far from Durban. So I don't think any parent will actually want their child to leave school and more play football, you know. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and then now we have in UCT, we have another university team, and another Western Cape team. We had one of the seasons, we had Vesco, and then they were bought over by TS Galaxy. They also, not to say they struggled to adjust to the Hollywoodbets League, but I just feel like they didn't have a chance to find their footing.
Yeah, they didn't.
And hopefully, we don't see the same with UCT.
But with that being said, I think since UCT is a university team, like university teams are actually backed by the school, the university.
No, fair financially, but I'm talking about players, right?
Yeah, that's very true.
Because we saw, why I say this, right? We saw University of Fort Hare first round.
Yeah, it was questionable.
It was questionable. And in second round, they turned their season around.
They even nearly won to Sundowns.
Exactly. So this is what I'm saying. It's you're right in saying that they have the financial backing, but at the end of the day, you still need to be able to acquire those players, right? But like I say, I hope that they do come in. I hope that they have a fairly good season. They are able to compete where they can. But obviously UCT, yeah, for sure. Because I mean, in the football space, UWC has always dominated when it comes to Western Cape, right? And it'll be interesting to see if there'll be any players who move over from either your Stellenbosch, your Magic Ladies, or Reunited, or Cape Town Roses that go over to UCT. But yeah, I think it will be very interesting to see. And yeah,